What's up guys, welcome back to the BroCast. In today's show, Path of Exiles Massive Expansion has a release date, the sci-fi MMORPG SkyForge is soon to enter open beta, and while this news may be a little late, I feel I need to mention that Terrarias Massive 1.3 content patch is now live. If you are a massive fan of Path of Exile, like me for instance, you will know that Path of Exile has a new expansion set on its way. The expansion set is called Awakening and it contains so many changes. With the Awakening comes the whole new Act 4, and together with Act 4 comes a new town with new NPCs, quests, and of course side areas that holds tons of new types of monsters and a slew of new bosses. As a matter of fact, there is 9 new bosses, which compared to the old acts, so Act 1, 2 and 3, which only had 1 or 2 bosses, must be said to be a massive change. The developers have been quoted saying that they wish to make Act 4 especially creepy by focusing on certain phobias such as trypophobia, which basically means the fear of objects with irregular patterns of holes. And I must say, from watching the trailer, they have done a pretty good job at that. Some of those monsters, they're pretty nasty. As with any new expansion for Path of Exile, new skill gems such as the Magma Orb, Wild Strike, Frost Blades, Flame Dash, and many more will be available together with a whopping 120 new unique items. And another major game changer is that the game now allows you to socket jewels with certain stats into your skill tree. So this, together with the new skill gems, the new unique items, opens up for a multitude of new and original builds you can try out to design in Path of Exile. With the Awakening release, you can also expect 2 huge quality of life solutions for the game. One of these is an item filter that allows you to sort away items you don't need so you don't clutter up your screen, and you can also make it so that specific valuable items will get highlighted now. The other major improvement is that the game now allows you to enable a mode called Lockstep. This mode, when enabled, makes it so that your character no longer desyncs or rubber bands when moving around in the game. Pretty cool. This is a significant change for Path of Exile, and I'm so happy that we finally get this. Guys, there are so many changes coming to Path of Exile, and I really feel that if you've ever been considering trying out the game but never really got to it, then now is definitely the time you should check it out. It is an absolutely fantastic game with fantastic and supportive developers who listens to their community. I personally have sunk about 3,000 hours into that game, and I plan to spend many more hours with the Awakening. And for the date, the Awakening gets released the 10th of July, and I should probably mention that if you don't know about leaks in Path of Exile, they will be starting 2 new leaks when the Awakening gets released. So if you are new to the game, these leaks will make it so that you start on par or at the same level with any other player who participates in these leaks. Pretty cool. So next up, and don't worry, it won't take too long, because we still need to talk about Terraria as well. But anyway, if you're interested in trying the sci-fi MMORPG SkyForge, then now is your chance. The game enters open beta at the 16th July. And in case you haven't heard about SkyForge before and is wondering what the game's all about, well, let me tell you. In SkyForge, your goal is to become a god. And through this game, you will be granted the opportunity to walk the hero's path from newborn immortal to mighty champion to eventually actually becoming a god. And as with many other MMOs, you level up, you spend your skill points, you grind gear, you PvP, etc, etc. I will say though guys, I played the first alpha event and the game felt incredibly repetitive and instanced. And it had like this lack of vibrance, which made the game feel dead and boring. And now lastly, if you like Terraria, then you're most likely going to like it even more with the new patch 1.3 that adds a lot of changes to the game. And with these changes, you're of course going to see new items, biomes, certain new features, and of course characters. And some of the major changes worth mentioning is that, first of all, that you can now play the game at the new expert difficulty. Secondly, there's been added a new Lunar and a new Martian Madness event, which of course is filled with new enemies and of course new loot. Yes! And now that we're talking about items, I can tell you that you can expect a whopping 250 new items with this patch, and this includes weapons, furniture, pets and mounts. And lastly, the patch of course also contains lots of bug fixes and quality of life improvements. The game is $10 on Steam, and honestly guys, compared to the vast amount of hours you are able to invest into it, I don't really feel it's that much. So all in all, if you're looking for a good excuse to try out Terraria, then now is the time. Alright guys, that's it for today's BroCast, but before we end, I gotta ask though, if you're going to play Path of Exile The Awakening, which of the new major features are you personally looking forward to the most? Also, I am curious to hear if you guys will be checking out SkyForge, and if you already have, then what have your thoughts been about the game? And lastly, I of course want to know how many of you guys have spent the last 5 days grinding in Terraria. Anyway, that's it. Remember to subscribe for more gaming news. Thank you for watching, and bros, do you even nerd?